Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's live stream. Oh my gosh. See, I literally brought this up and left it there because I'm channeling your energy. I'm tired. I'm going to be honest with you, tired because we are working hard. There's so much going on behind the scenes. I think this AMA is going to be a little bit more on the chill side. We're going to lean into the AMA side of things, like get all your questions ready. Demoing some new things will come in the next few AMAs. I'm just going to let you know right now. So if you have questions, let's dive in really deep in this AMA. So if you have them, throw them in the YouTube live chat or the Twitter live chat. And is popcorn not up? Is it not? Okay, hold on. Let me go check on that. Here's Luke. One sec. You are muted.
My bad.
Oh, it is
Hello.
We're good.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, so this is going to be kind of like the last boring AMA in a little while because basically we've been building out stuff for the last 6 to 12 months. It's crazy how long we've been putting work into this. And they're all going to start releasing basically next week. And we have probably 3 to 4 big releases in the next month or two that we're going to start shipping out. So it's been super exciting because basically we had some time where we could take some bigger bets, and we started making these bets a while ago, right? I think about 6 to 12 months ago, we started to realize, hey, some of the stuff that we're doing in Web3, especially with Core Pixels, it's kind of working, but it's not necessarily working in the right way that we need to build for something that's going to last for the next 5 to 10 years, right? I think everybody was kind of feeling that with Core Pixels. Sorry, I hope that's not too loud. This semi just drove past me. But yeah, about 6 months ago, we started changing up the strategy a lot, maybe even 7 months ago. And we were doing a bunch of live ops events, and our goal in early 2025 was basically to take Core Pixels as it was with that loop and get it to roars over 1. And a lot of our strategy was kind of borrowing elements from normal mobile games and trying to bring them into Web3. So what we were doing was basically these live ops events, and they were kind of successful on paper, but I think fundamentally they were broken, right? When we start to bring in elements from Web 2 games and we make them to Web 3, they feel bad. Web 2 games, how they work is they're kind of out there to monetize every single penny out of you. And when you're doing that with the real money game loop, there's something completely broken about it. It just doesn't feel right, and there's something wrong. So essentially what we've been working on is how can we start to bring in the best elements of Web 3 with the best elements of Web 2 and build something that Web 2 players also want to join. This also was combined with some changes in the market, right? Where we started to see, some of the cryptocurrencies not perform as well, which is kind of reflexive, and it hurts us when we go out and do user acquisition. And a lot of what we're going to be working on in the next stages too is how can we start to grow with a new audience, and how can we start to build out this Web3 audience too. And how I like to view it right now is I don't really want us to view Web2 audience, Web3 audience. Really what I want us to view, what we're building in Web3 is, a new type of game that makes the game better, right? So this Web2, Web3 distinction kind of needs to go away in my mind. What we really need to do is we need to think about how we build games that are fun for people and have some of the elements that make Web3 games better. If Web3 gaming doesn't make gaming better, Web3 gaming is a non-starter fundamentally, right? So a lot of what we're working on now is with this Pets app, we're going to try a whole different approach to Web3 gaming than what we're doing in Core Pixels. In Core Pixels, what we're doing is we're changing our whole approach to a really Web3 native game. And we're also doing experiments with Pixel Dungeons and, some other bets too in the background also. All the time while we've been building this, what we've been working on is basically this kind of B2B platform. B2B means direct to business, where we're also kind of building out the infrastructure to power all of these different types of games and these experiences. And we're using that to kind of power the back end of Pixels, the new Pets app, and potentially other partners too. For example, using this tech, it would be a really, really good way to help a chain grow as well. So we'll kind of dive into all those things that we're working on and kind of dive into the strategy too. But yeah, basically the next month is finally really exciting for us. I think we've been working on what we're calling Neo, which I think we're going to change the name still, for over a year now. We've been working on it internally. So we've been using a lot of the backend of Neo in Core Pixels for a long time. We've kind of adjusted it in a way that's going to power everything that we build from now on, basically. And it's going to make it really, really easy for us to turn any game that we make into a Web3 game. So the fun when Neo starts to get out is really, it's going to be exciting. Like over the next year, because we have a good amount of runway right now. We have a lot of time to go and build out experiments. We have a lot of time to go out and like try a bunch of different types of games to see what really works inside of Web3 besides just this Pets app. All the while continuing to build out Core Pixels and continue to build out like the other things that we've been doing. But basically we'll be able to prototype games and add Web3 to them like that with Project Neo. So we're super excited. So kind of the idea with that is we're going to test it with Core Pixels. We're going to test it with the Pets app. We're going to test it with Pixel Dungeons and the other game in the ecosystem that wants to use it. Like Sleepygachi will probably use it. Universe will probably use it. Any other future partner will probably use it too. And it'll kind of be like the easiest way for us to ship new Web3 games and like make ours better as well too. So expect even like that Project Neo release. We're shooting for like early November to kind of do like the full announcement. So yeah, that's the idea there. We'll do like a big product launch. We'll like make a nice landing page. Project Neo will actually be kind of like it'll be a separate product basically, and it'll be like a big product launch. So maybe we can go over what that looks like because I think you guys will like it. Because basically it'll be like a new way to earn inside of any app that we integrate with. It'll be cool. But yeah, maybe we can go over core game because I know there's updates coming out soon. We just released an update on Tuesday, right? Do we want to go over that?
There is an update coming, or I guess it just happened like 18 hours ago, or not 18, 16 hours ago. Let me pull up the announcement. 1 second here. There were some updates made to the Neon Zone. Shoot, 1 second. New game launched in the Neon Zone, Mines. So we can quickly run through that. 1 sec, let me share my screen.
Yeah, that game is cool. I just played it for the first time yesterday.
Okay, awesome. Hold on. Okay, new game alert. Mines dropping in the Neon Zone. So this is fun. New game. We love that. We keep launching new games, guys. I love it. I love to see it. So, yeah, this one literally just launched like I think like 16 hours ago or something like that. So I want to know all your feedback. Throw it in the chat. Yeah, how it works. So you play each round by choosing between like a certain amount of stuff stubs. And then you pick your difficulty. How many mines do you want on the board? Obviously, the more mines you have, the more points you can possibly get. And then you click to reveal the tiles. So each safe tile increases your prize. But if you hit a mine, game over, you're out, you lose. So you can cash out anytime. This is kind of like giving higher lower vibes in a little bit of a way. So I'm not surprised if Luke likes it. And then, yeah, you can build your streak. So pretty fun. This did sunset the, what's it called? That away game. But that's good. Like, I think we're experimenting. We're seeing what works, and we can always bring some games back like temporarily in the future. So fun stuff. And then, yeah, the new Portal. Actually, I haven't even looked to see who has bought this or if any have been purchased, if there's any left. I have literally no idea. I want to go look. So let us know in the chat if you got your hands on one of those. And yeah, there's just some other fun stuff. Obviously, we're AMA right now. And then our creator program just continues to grow and be super strong and powerful as like a community. So if you want to get even more involved in Pixels, I highly recommend you join our creator program just because it's like the most wonderful sub community within the greater Pixels ecosystem. So they're going crazy. Yeah, that's the update. I'm gonna go look at who or how many of the portals are left, or if anyone has even gotten any. I don't even know. I haven't looked. I've been so busy, guys.
How do you get to this game? Like, can we maybe show how to like even start playing this game? Because I went to Neon Zone, I couldn't find it at first. So maybe we go and show them like what the game is, where it is. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. haven't been able to play it because I was in Singapore until like later, like Tuesday until yesterday, basically. So I haven't even played it. So we're gonna be playing it all together. I feel like you can demo. You said you've played it, so it's probably safer bet.
We'll pull that up later.
I want to see the portal. Okay, there's still 14 in stock. So 6 people have gotten their hands on them. Very curious who has them.
Yeah, this one's fun because it's like a little skill based too. It's like it's interesting. So
are you sharing your screen or should I?
Yeah, I think you should. But
this is gonna be bad. I've never played it because I literally haven't had a chance. Okay, here we go. Mines. I don't know how many stuff subs I have. Okay. Rules. Okay, that doesn't work. This is going really well. All right, let's start. Choose wisely. I literally don't know how to play this game, Luke. How do you play it? I just go over here and click on them. Okay, got it. Okay, good. But I only have 1 mine. Like I thought I could have more. Duh. Okay, I managed to lose. I'm gonna play again.
TJM is talking crap to Lazy Boy.
You're allowed to talk crap. Ugh. I mean, the fact that I haven't played the game yet is embarrassing, honestly.
You're getting too greedy, Heidi.
There's 1 mine on the map. How am I just...
Yeah, do more mines. Do more mines.
I don't know how. Like, it won't let me click on it. It's not letting me click it. So I don't know how. Oh, man. Okay. 1 more.
Yeah, claim your riches.
There you go, guys.
Nice. All right, more mines.
It's not... Oh, I have to click before I hit start. Okay, got it. Luke is going to be the reason I lose all of my stuff stubs. Good. Okay. I'm going to do 1 more time. Should we just go hard? Oh, no, I already clicked start. My bad. This is addictive. I'm like, okay, wait, let me do this again. 1 more time. Oh, okay. I think I should tap out. Oh my gosh. Before you start the game, change it. Yeah, got it. Cool. I love when you guys are teaching me how to play. It's good. This is good. So it's most of the time it's the other way around. So this is great. This is a fun game though. It reminds me of Minesweeper, but like a really... this one is more luck based than Minesweeper. Like you needed to like know how to play and then you could do it. I would have won a lot, but please fix rules. What do you mean? What's wrong with the rules? This is all...
You can't click on it, right? Yeah, we'll fix that.
No, you can.
But yeah, that's a fun little mini game. Honestly, there's other like small updates coming into Core Pixels even before Chapter 3 comes out too. I believe the Merchant Ships update, and there's something else coming out before Chapter 3 releases too. So Chapter 3, let's talk about it. It's coming out at the end of the month as planned right now. So it's either end of the month or like very early November. And internally, we're play testing this week. We're going to open up some player testing, I think, next week. So we want some feedback. What we'll probably even do is I think the internal team is going to have like, a little prize pool going just for team members so that we actually like properly play test it. But yeah, next week, what we'll do is we'll run through a full demo of Chapter 3 and what it looks like, how you can start to prepare and think about things. We like it. It's really cool. And here's kind of the concept and what we're thinking for a core game moving forward, because we're not done updating it. We're not like abandoning it. I'm actually very, very optimistic about where the core game can go. And what we're going to be thinking about in the long term for the core game is, we're not so focused on player count for right now, right? Like you can see that honestly, player count's been relatively stable for the last month or two. We have like a core audience that really likes the game, and that's great. We're keeping like 20 to like 35K DAU consistently, right? Our goal basically with Chapter 3 in the beginning stages is we're going to live update it a lot, right? So then when we first release it, we might not get the balance completely correct, but we think we have a pretty good first step. And essentially when you're playing chapter 3, everyone who's playing the game right now will be playing chapter 3. How it's going to work is there's going to be this new item that pops up in your task board, and it's going to be a new type of task. And when you start to go through your task board, as you're trying to earn pixel, you'll also start to earn yield stone. And yield stone will be the main resource inside of chapter 3. So essentially what it does is it allows you to start to participate in this chapter 3 game loop. So if you're playing normal pixels, you're going to be earning yield stone. You might as well use it. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. You don't have to join a faction, but you're going to be earning it anyway. So you might as well start to just use it, because you can earn more if you start to participate in the chapter 3 loop. Essentially what we're going to be doing is there's going to be a prize pool in the chapter 3 loop for the winning faction. So there will be, or the winning union, my bad, I keep saying faction. But essentially there will be 3 unions inside of the game that you're going to be able to choose from. And you'll have to join a union, right? So basically you'll have the chance to use these yield stones to either help your union or sabotage another union, right? So if you're doing the task board, you're trying to earn pixel, you'll be earning this yield stone anyways. Just use it to help your union or hurt another one, and you'll be able to earn even more pixel in this game loop. It'll be pretty fun. So it's just going to be like a small minor loop, but it's going to change the way that you play a lot. And that was kind of the intention with chapter 3. We want to see if we can introduce new gameplay that is a little competitive. And if this competitive gameplay works, we'll kind of double down on it, and we'll start to make it even more interesting, right? We might start to integrate guilds into these unions, or we might start to like even build out like more mechanics that are competitive as well. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to create like a smaller loop that introduced competitive gameplay consistently in the pixels, kind of like, you know, sports, except it's not the same as sports. Sports was intense, a grind, and a little bit different than what we're doing here. And this is going to be a little bit more of a casual loop, hopefully. Now, obviously, sometimes we design loops and they don't go as intended. We do think that we designed this in a way that's a little bit better, because everybody's going to be playing it kind of, if you're grinding the task board, you know, you're going to be getting the same stuff. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit different. So here, yeah. And if you join the winning union, then you're going to get a lot of prizes basically. So we're excited to see how it goes. And what's good about this loop too is inherently we can tweak it in a way where it's net burn on the token also. So if you win, you're going to come out ahead. And if you're like putting some work in with your union and your union's doing well, but if you're not doing as much work in your union might not win, and you might not get the pixel prize from that, like, you know, week of competition with the unions, right? So what's interesting is we'll try to publish this as transparently as possible. The monetization is a little tricky with it to like transparently provide like rake details, but the goal with it is like we're not trying to take aggressive rake like we were in the live ops events. Here's the issue with the live ops events when we were building them out. They were actually really successful when it came to monetization. Like I think every single live ops event we did was generating like, you know, 300,000 to like $1 million of pixel burn, which is pretty good, right? But for the amount of rewards going out, it felt pretty bad. Like we probably gave out, you know, $100,000 of rewards for like a like 500,000 to like $1 million of pixel burn, and that felt bad, right? From Web 2 standards, that's extremely successful. From Web 3, you really do need to change the monetization model from Web 2 is what we found. Like Web 3 is it's supposed to be about basically sharing ownership of the network with the users. It's supposed to be about transparency. It's supposed to be about fairness, right? Like I think those are core tenets that you need to have inside of a Web 3 game to make it feel good and make it feel fun. And if there's not transparency there, and if there's not obvious like odds or anything like that, no matter what you do, when you add in Web 3 to a game, it's going to feel icky. So we're trying to change the gameplay from what we did in sports and the live ops events, like the holiday event, the Halloween event from last year, and do a more fair model where basically we just take a small rake from the game loop, maybe like, you know, 10% instead of, you know, 80, 90%, and scale it that way. So in order to get the amount of dollar burn that we had before, it's going to start smaller, right? Like we might give out, $100,000 of rewards and maybe do like $120,000 of burn in the game loop. And if we wanted to increase the amount of burn, so that would be like, $20,000 of net burn. What we need to do after that is we need to scale the player base, right? So we keep that rate small, not super aggressive, so that feels good and fair to everybody. And we're still doing right by the token, right? So we still, if you're in the Pixel community, you probably want to see the token perform well, right? We do need to have net burn on the token for it to perform well in the long run, right? Like Pixels as a protocol, as an ecosystem, and as a game needs to generate revenue, and needs to generate more revenue than it's giving out if you want the token to perform well, right? And I think we all do. Like the team has stake in it. We're properly incentivized to, go out and make sure that the token is performing as well as it can be. The community has stake in it, so they should want to feel like the token is performing well and doing well in revenue too. That way, if you're staking the token, you get these, staking distributions for helping, secure the network, give us data, all of this, right? And these two things need to work together. And the game needs to be fun for all of us to feel good too. So we need fair, transparent rake, we need positive economics, and we need the game to be fun. Like these three things need to come together in chapter 3 for it to work well. And then once it starts working well, then we can start scaling user base again, right? So we took a little step back to focus on fundamentals, to focus on these three components. And once we have that, then we're going to start doing more aggressive UA. Now, our thoughts have changed on user acquisition. If you've noticed, we went over it in the Pets app yesterday. We're starting to work on actually scaling out paid UA campaigns. So my theory now is I was very anti-paid user acquisition for a long time with Core Pixels, because honestly, we did grow for a very long time without doing any paid user acquisition. We have 10 million registered accounts in Core Pixels. I would guess probably like 5 million real people have played Core Pixels at one point, which is crazy, right? And we did that without spending a single dollar on advertisements. Now, if we want to go and expand to a new audience beyond just the Web3 native audience, we need to grow again too. Now, there are things that we can do that are native, Web3 native user acquisition, and we're still going to continue to do that. Like earnings are inherently viral. They're inherently like a user acquisition tool. And we can also blend that with traditional paid UA to like kind of go out, reach new audiences, and help those new audiences help us grow. So the plan is if chapter 3 goes well and we start to tweak it and balance it in a way that's positive, we can also start to tweak Core Pixels in a way that will, one, be more suited for paid user acquisition. I now believe that if we want to grow Core Pixels, we need to be more mobile friendly than we are, because if we want to do paid user acquisition, we really do need to do mobile user acquisition. So the next step after chapter 3 would basically be prepping Pixels for a more mobile friendly native release, essentially releasing our own mobile native app, then running paid UA campaigns, ideally them being profitable, and we can scale user base that way too. And if we can do this in the right way, we can start to grow user base, still grow revenue, and then even use that revenue to go and either buy back the token or to like essentially give revenue distributions to stakers for helping secure the network. And yeah, it's kind of the idea. So we've already been running paid UA campaigns on the Pets app, and we've been learning so much. So the same tactics that we're using on the Pets app, we're going to apply to Core Pixels next. The Pets app is great because it's basically a playground for us to kind of do mobile native paid UA at the beginning stages. And what's awesome too is like we've been running paid UA for the Pets app. We're learning so much about what resonates with a normal audience that's not necessarily Web3 native, and how we can get them into Web3 concepts. So here's the Web3 concepts that I think are the most important. Earnings, transparent gotcha is interesting, and social is really interesting too. So that's kind of what we're going to be pushing inside of the Pets app a little bit. But as we've been starting to advertise the Pets app, we've started to learn that there's certain things that normies like and respond to better than like what we've been pushing, right? The way that we've been, making people play Pixels, it's kind of hard for a normal person to understand it at the beginning stages. Like you have to watch YouTube videos. If you don't know anything about crypto, you don't really know what like the cryptocurrencies are or why you would want one. and you definitely don't know what Pixel is, right? Like Pixel doesn't really make sense to a normal person at the beginning stages. It does once you're in the game, and like eventually you'll understand, oh, I do want this. But a lot of this Project Neo that we're working on is basically all the infrastructure and Rails to make it really, really easy for someone who has no Web3 experience, no wallet, and no understanding, or like maybe they don't even care about the Web3 part, to still play a play to earn game and still play core Pixels and play all of our apps that we're making too. So one of the interesting things that we've been experimenting with is when we start to run a paid advertisement on Pixels or the Pets app or Dungeons, because we're experimenting with all three of those right now, what's the messaging that we need to tell people that gets them interested inside of the game? Like, for example, we experimented with paid ads that were talking about earnings on a bunch of different, like, we basically experimented with like 15 to 20 CTAs. And this is a call to action, basically. We experimented with like, play the game and earn crypto, play the game and earn Pixel, play the game and earn Robux, play the game and earn gift cards. And what we've seen is there's a lot of interesting data that we've got. What we've seen is like people who are not in Web3 respond way better to earning Bitcoin than they do Pixel, which is interesting. People in Web3 respond, or people outside of Web3 respond way better to earning gift cards over crypto even. And the cool thing is, even if we have all these systems set up, Pixel can still be the core behind all of this. Like Pixel can be that backing that's kind of invisible that they don't know about. But if they spend US dollars, we can use that to buy back Pixel. If we give out Bitcoin, you know, if we do it with roars over one, we can do that in a sustainable way. That, you know, if we're doing Bitcoin rewards, US dollar revenue, we can use that US dollar revenue to buy Bitcoin, give out rewards that way, and then give out that US dollar revenue to stakers or use it for buybacks. Basically, like the sustainable approach, this roars over one, is how we get there. And what we're looking for right now is like, how do we start to attract these normal audiences that would be spending inside of the game, so that we can use any of the revenue inside of the game to like help the ecosystem, help the token, and make sure that it's not on like a down only. So it was a bigger bet that we had to make to do this, right? And we knew that in the short term, it was going to be a little bit painful. The great news is like, we're finally on track to get all this stuff out. And I think my goal for Pixels in Q4 is I want us to be cash flow positive so that we can start having the revenue that we need to do all the things that we can to support the token, right? And I think that's a narrative that we need for Web3 gaming in the long run. If we don't have a convincing narrative inside of Web3 gaming, no one's going to care. If you guys have noticed, there's no game in Web3 right now that really has gotten a greater attention. I think the only one is Fantasy.fun right now, which is the interesting one, right? But even then, that hasn't really broken through. There's just like a bit of rumblings on crypto Twitter about it, but like nobody outside of crypto gaming Twitter knows about like Fantasy.fun even. Like it hasn't even broken through like crypto gaming Twitter, and that's what we really need. So when it comes to token sustainability, and when we think about who would buy a token, we've talked about this a little. I don't think I actually talked about this on AMA too much. I talked about this on Ronin Radio the other day with Kagi and Gila, right? But here's how we view tokens and like how we think we need to position it in order for people to actually come into the ecosystem and to be interested in what we're doing at Pixels. So right now, there's a narrative issue inside of Web3 gaming. No one outside of this like belief bubble that we have inside of crypto gaming, you know, the people who love Ronin, maybe the people who love Immutable, maybe the people who love AVAX, believe in Web3 gaming right now. And I'm talking even about people in crypto. Think about Thread Guy. Think about like all the big influencers who are, you know, talking about meme coins or Aster or all of this. None of them are talking about Web3 gaming right now, and that's an issue. Now, why are they not talking about Web3 gaming? Because there hasn't been a new narrative, and there hasn't been a narrative that can actually convince people to believe. So my take is it's kind of a fundamental issue with Web3 gaming right now, where no Web3 game has really found long-lasting product market fit, and no Web3 game has really found a way to be sustainable, right? So we're going to be pushing the sustainability narrative when we get it. If we can actually build a protocol that generates convincing revenue, like a Hyperliquid, like a Pump Fund, then we can bring Web3 gaming back into the conversation with all of these crypto people. And how tokens work is, there's a bunch of different sets of buyers, right? There's retail, there's players of the game, there's institutional buyers, there's ETFs, and then like there's retail normies too, right? So when it comes to the importance of buy pressure on a token, there's kind of like a scale of importance, right? And you need to kind of work your way up that scale, right? So first of all, players of an ecosystem are important to be using a token, right? They're the ones that are going to be generating cash flows for an ecosystem, right? To do that, to actually have like cash flow positive token economics, you need to make a game that people like, you need to make a game that's fun, and you need to be attracting new users into your game. So you have buyers of your token inside of the ecosystem itself, right? And that would be the token utility narrative. Now, the issue with some Web3 games is they only focus on that token utility narrative, and there's more to it than just the token utility narrative, right? Because if only players are buying the token, then that is some buy pressure. It's like millions, it could be millions a month, right? If you're scaling a game to like, 100 million in revenue a year, that's $10 million in buy pressure a month minus rewards, right? But there's bigger buyers out there. Like, Michael Saylor buys billions of dollars of Bitcoin. How do you get these institutional buyers to buy the token next too? Well, what you need is you do need to create a narrative that convinces them that this is exciting and this is interesting. A lot of the narrative in Web3, which I think is for the better, is shifted towards revenue and shifted towards fundamentals. That's why Hyperliquid, that's why BNB, and that's why Pump Fund have been performing decent, right? And BNB especially. BNB is the best narrative in crypto by far right now because they have amazing value accrual mechanisms to BNB. Basically, how BNB does its value accrual is through Binance Alpha, through Binance Earn, and all these other things. But Binance is a huge company that generates a ton of revenue, and they also have really interesting deal flow that they can give to holders of BNB, and it makes BNB inherently more valuable, right? And we can do that through staking, we can do that through buybacks, but we need that revenue in order to do that. So, that's why we're starting first with the fundamentals, the game loop, the sustainability, and then we can start to attract institutional buyers. And then once you have institutional buyers, you can kind of go to the next stage of like really attracting normal retail. Like, think about it. When was the last time a normal user bought, AXS or Sand or any of these other tokens? Like, I'm talking like your mom, your aunt, your grandma. Like, some people were buying these tokens during like bull run 2021, and they didn't really know much about the tokens, but they knew, oh, gaming is like definitely the interesting thing in crypto right now. I think I should buy like a gaming token. There's no normal retail buying any of these gaming tokens right now, but you need these steps first. So this is kind of how we're approaching it, how we're thinking about it. And the interesting thing too is the retail side of things is combined with like institutional coming in and believing the narrative. It's also combined with like wide reach. So if we can start to scale a game to millions of users again and do it in the right way, then that's the other way to get retail attention also. So that's how we're thinking about things. That's how we're thinking about the token. It is top of mind. It's like literally all I think about. But we had to make bigger bets to do this. So Q4, basically by end of year, our goal is to generate, cash flows for the game and ecosystem and, kind of do that in the next stage. So yeah, that's the idea there.
Okay, let's dive into some questions. Pinned a few especially when we were talking about unions and stuff. There was one specific, okay, this one, is it connected to Yield Guild Games? No, it is not, but we will be at YPS in November. So if you're in Manila or planning to head out that way, make sure you're there on Wednesday night because we might be working on something. It should be fun. Can we choose our union or is it random? Yes, you can choose your union. There are 3, which we will demo a little bit more of hopefully next week. So you can choose whichever one you want. From what I understand, if you wish to change your union, you can. You have to purchase like a little thing to be able to do it. And you can only change like once every 24 hours or something like that. So just, ask your friends which one you want to be in. For me, it's the art. I really like the art of one. So I'm like, that's probably the one I'll spend the most time in. But yes, you can choose. Will unions be a time-based action event? So they will. So how it works is you get yield stones and you place them in your union's hearth, right? And you want your hearth health to hit 100%. And you want to beat the other unions, and then that gameplay will reset every several hours. It could be 10 hours, but I know there could be some tweaks on that, so don't take my word for it. But it will be continuous gameplay. And as Luke was saying before, so there's two different ways to get yield stones. One of them is through the task board, and that's the one that's probably going to be the most common, right? So you're going to be playing pixels just like as you usually do right now, and then you're just going to get yield stones. You're going to get the ones you want for your hearth health, and you're going to get ones to sabotage others, which is really fun. I was literally just playing in like our internal environment testing and like filming some stuff, and I sabotaged another one, and my teammate was like, how dare you? Like, I'm filming, okay? But yeah, it's cute. There's like little animations and stuff, so it should be good. And like we mentioned before, chapter 2 came like, it was almost like a shock to the system because we basically rewrote a lot of the game, right? This is more like a really big feature that's going to supplement how you're already playing pixels in like a really fun way. It gives you like another way to participate and, you know, earn pixel and like have fun with friends as you're already playing the game. So yeah, let's see if there's some other questions in here about unions.
Kieran had some questions that I thought were good. I'll pull them up. So, okay, does this mean the task board is going to have a little bit less pixel with the yield stone added? Truthfully, yes. So yield stone will pop up and they might act almost like, we know how you guys play the game. Like, you guys view some tasks as blocker tasks, right? The yield stone might act a little bit like a blocker task in certain circumstances. It will also take up slots in the task board as well. We're not adding new slots to the task board, so you'll earn maybe a little bit less pixel in the task board, but you'll be able to earn that pixel that you would have in the task board. We're not changing overall emissions through chapter 3 gameplay also. So we want to see, and this is going to be some of the experimentation too, on, you know, how well you guys receive the rewards in the chapter 3 game loop as well. It's not as instant gratification, which I think might be a little bit of an issue. So there might be some things to think about there, because, you know, the unions might not give out payouts until like a week sometimes, or things like that too. So, you know, we're gonna have to play around a little bit with what that looks like. But Yieldstone is not supposed to expire. But yeah, that might be something we want to think about eventually. Like, if this is successful, like a lot of MMOs do seasons, so maybe there would be like seasonal Yieldstone where you have to use it by a certain time. That's not in the spec right now, but again, like, you know, we want to make sure that we're doing this in the right way and that gameplay stays interesting. It doesn't get too whale driven, because, you know, that wouldn't make it fun either if like 1 or 2 people control everything, right? So that's the other thing to think about also. But yeah, right now they don't expire. If there were a change to make them expire, we would probably do like a seasonal type of Yieldstone. And that's what we're thinking. What else?
I think we've gone through a lot of the union questions.
Should we bring up the dungeons question?
Sure. Where was it?
I see an event in Pixel Dungeons.
Yeah, so surprise, guys, we have the Dungeons team actually coming up on the AMA with us right now. They are here, and they're going to talk to you about their new social Dungeons feature, which I'm so excited about because I think it's going to be so cool. So without further ado, let's bring them up. Welcome, guys.
Hey, guys. How's everything?
Good. Yeah, just go off. Let's hear it. How does this all work? Why should we be excited about it? All the good stuff.
Okay, if you can share the screen.
Yeah, maybe as many of you might already know, we are launching, if you are paying attention on social media, today we are launching social dungeons, a new type of dungeon that I'm going to showcase in a minute because it's going to be opened in a minute. But basically, social dungeons are like regular dungeons. If you are familiar with our game, you will know that there are these game rooms called dungeons. You enter, and you can mine pixel and try to escape with your reward. So instead of paying with pixels to enter these dungeons, social dungeons you pay by interacting with our Twitter account. So let me share my screen. In the meantime, Adrian, if I missed something.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's opening right now. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So today we are starting with one social dungeon. To access it, you can go to our profile and click the dungeon. If you don't have an account or you haven't linked your X account yet, you can basically do it by pressing play now. You basically log in as with any Twitter app, and this is what you will see. As you can see, just for connecting the Twitter account, we grant you one social ticket, which is the currency for this type of dungeons. And below here, you can see several tasks that I can complete if I want to get more social tickets.
Can you zoom in?
Yeah, let me zoom it.
Perfect.
There, yeah, maybe too much. Okay, so as you can see, I have different tasks. One of them is following us. That's like mandatory for completing all of them. And then I should interact with this tweet by liking and doing retweet of it, replying, mentioning my friends, or quote, retweeting it with a review. So right now I have one social ticket. If I open the tweet, as you can see, this is the tweet. People are already commenting. I can repost it and maybe even, for example, tag Evelyn. and if we wait a bit, yeah, I was granted 9 social tickets. And you will see different numbers of social tickets because this will depend on your followers. So I also replied mentioning Evelyn, and I can enter the dungeon. Yeah, let me turn off the lights so we can see it better. Now comes the hard part, which is actually surviving. Because people are like far better than me in this game already. But
this game, I just die all the time because I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, as you will see on our X live stream.
Oh,
Hey!
oh, they escaped.
Yeah, he escaped. He's way too good.
Okay, so just to be clear,
Yeah,
your Twitter account and any Twitter account, I think, can stream the
any
game.
Twitter account.
They can stream the game or post about it, and then
Yeah,
by interacting or engaging with that tweet, that post in the ways that it suggests, dungeon.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. They actually need to do the interactions with this tweet. So first you click the link saying this tweet, and then you do interactions with this, as I did. For example, retweeting, mentioning my friends, doing a quote retweet also give you points and these social tickets. But you need to do it with this tweet.
Right.
Yeah. It's important to know that the dungeon right now, it says that will close in 45 minutes. And on every interaction, we add 5 seconds to the dungeon. So it's really important to, if you want to play dungeons, to enter now because maybe it will close soon.
Cool. So these dungeons, like if we just get continuous engagement, they can go on forever.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you guys follow any streaming, it's kind of like a subathon where like every interaction extends how long this dungeon's open. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
here in the live stream, you can see people playing inside the dungeon. So maybe if I enter the dungeon, I can find this Manel Colo, for example. He's in the top of the map. I'm going to find him.
Okay, I'm gonna share the link in chat. Hold on. I'm gonna mute myself.
It's important to know also that this is the first social dungeon that we're doing, and we plan to do more in the future, probably opening more servers. Right now is in Europe, but the idea is to open it to all the servers at the same time.
Yeah, the cool thing is, like, this is just the first experiment with this feature too, from my understanding, but eventually they might even open this up to other streamers, where like another streamer can basically like create their own social dungeon, and if like people are retweeting that streamer's tweet, then it extends it also. So it's pretty cool, because you can also, like, if you're a streamer, basically incentivize people to go to your Twitter, retweet, comment, all of that. We might run that with a streamer soon, and see how that works for the first stage also, because right now you're just interacting with the Pixel Dungeons tweet, but if the system works really well, we'll probably make it so that other people can do it also.
100%.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, and the dungeon is almost full. So so take advantage, because it was super fun.
Okay, guys, we are going to leave. We need to check that everything is working well. Trying to answer everyone on Discord. So yeah, hope you have fun playing Pixel Dungeons and the social dungeons.
Yeah, that's it. Also,
Thanks.
if anyone has any, sorry to interrupt. If anyone has any problem, let us know in Discord. If, for example, the retweet is not working, let us know. Maybe you should try again. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming up. We'll let you go. Make sure there's no fires. And yeah, I posted the link in chat. I'll try to pin it, but I'm not logged into the account. But yeah, go to the Pixel Dungeons Twitter page, and it's their link in bio, so it's really easy to just get there immediately. So yeah, cool. Thanks, guys.
Okay, guys.
Bye. Bye.
It's so cool. I love this idea.
Yeah, it's basically an interact to earn system, and they're going to try to make it smarter and smarter, but I think it's a really interesting experiment. How we view Web3 UA in the long run too is, like, we're actually also building out our own platform, and they'll be in this like Neo system, this offer system too, where we're going to start to incentivize content creation also, especially around the Pets app. So when you think about Pets app earnings, there's a few things that we're thinking about with Pets app earnings. And this is going to be a lot of like the new experimentation with earnings that we're doing inside of Pixel's ecosystem. But a lot of what we're thinking with Pets app is, we're going to be offering earnings for, bringing in new friends. We'll be offering earnings for creating like TikToks and YouTube shorts. We'll be offering earnings for like also doing like tasks with another person too. So that's a fun, interesting thing that we're going to be experimenting with. I'm super excited for Pixel Dungeons to be going out and doing it first. And then, yeah, if this is successful, this will be like a core part of this, like, earnings engine that we're building out with Project Neo. And yeah, a lot of what we're doing with Neo too is, like, we will start to experiment with cross-game offers as well. So we will start to introduce offers in the Neo dashboard and in Pixel's dashboard too, to go out and like try Pixel Dungeons or try different games as well. Yeah, it's very exciting for creators when it starts to open up for everybody too. Basically, it's incentivizing you to go out and stream the game. You get rewards for streaming the game. You get these tickets. You get people to like go and interact with your tweet. So it's like a win-win for everybody basically who's doing it. And to enter these dungeons, rather than paying, you have to interact. So it's a new model. They're going to be trying it out. I think it'll work.
It's pretty cool. I'm excited to see like how content creators engage with it and how successful it is for them. Because I think that Dungeons is so streamable. It's so streamable. So yeah, it'll be cool. Okay, we have like 5 minutes left, so we can dive back into some questions that we pinned earlier. This was an interesting question. This was when you were going off about like Web 2 versus Web 3. I think someone even suggested Web 4. And they said, how do I know I'm playing Web 3?
So I think that's the important part. Like, I actually now don't care if people know they're playing Web3 or not. Like, I care if the actual parts of Web3 are making the game better. So what's Web3 doing? Web3 is adding a real money component to the games. You can't deny that. Some people like to be like, oh no, people are going to play the game for fun. No, when you add Web3 to a game, it turns the game into a real money game, no matter where you add it. If you have NFTs in the game that you can earn and sell, now your game's a real money game, whether you like it or not. If you add a currency that's used inside of a game that can be swapped, it's a real money game, whether you like it or not. So a Web3 game does have real money components, and the real money components can be, harder for the game to manage, or they can make the game way more fun. Like, honestly, if you guys play Pixels, the real money component of the game makes the game a lot more interesting in some ways, especially when you're dealing with the marketplace, when you're dealing with like competition, when you're dealing with events. Like, you have to think about the game differently than you would a Web 2 game. And the people that deny that, even I think we were kind of in denial of that in the beginning stages, they're not going to build a successful game. Like, you have to understand that is a part of the game, and that's what you're adding inside of Web3. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody that plays the game needs to know it's a cryptocurrency and all of this too. Like, you can still have the real money components of the game that are backed by Web3. The Web3 does a few things where it makes it, more compliant, it makes it easier, frictionless, KYC-less, instant. There's a lot of benefits of it being Web3, just if you're doing the real money side of things, right? And you can also have some real money components that are backed by Web3 without having people use a cryptocurrency. Like, for example, if we had an option for players to cash out Pixel or a gift card, it's something that we're going to be starting to experiment with. And the normies, the people who are not so Web3 onboarded, from what our initial data shows, they really prefer gift cards over crypto, which is fun. So we can do that. We can give out gift cards and we can do all of this if our RORs, return on reward spend, is over 1, and if the game is sustainable, right? And we can still use any revenue made in the game, even if they're not using the Pixel token to spend and they're using a credit card instead, to still benefit the ecosystem and the token by either doing, staking distributions or by doing like buybacks eventually, if we can do it in a legal, compliant way, which it seems like we can. And the other interesting part too is somebody said, this is a very good point, Apple is not so good on Web3 and updates would take forever to pass. No problem with Android though. Well, if we actually skin the game in a different way, and like maybe emphasize the crypto front end less on a mobile app for Apple, and then still have the crypto part be in the web app where you earn the currency inside of the game. Like, you can still earn Pixel inside of the inside of core Pixels if we did a mobile app, but you wouldn't be able to cash it out in the mobile app. You would have to go into the web app to do that, but it'd be the same account, same login. That's the way to get around it. And it seems like that's kind of passing around the board right now, which is good. Basically offering like a web app where you get a scary warning when you click it. You could even do it technically in-app if it goes into the web browser. And yeah, there's a few ways that we're going to do it. So there will be some experimentation there. I do think getting App Store acceptance is like huge criteria for making a Web3 game actually go into normal audiences. We think we found a pretty good way to do it because the way that we already do Pixel earnings is technically off-chain anyways. And then you like cash out on-chain, right? So this is actually like a very good system to be compliant with the App Store. We're kind of building that as a product so that other games can add this like real money component with our system too. And that's kind of the core of what Project Neo is. Basically a way for any game, even in Web 2, to add in the Web 3 elements, still be on the App Store, still be compliant. We handle compliance. We handle all the risk there. We handle, any solution that needs to be done. And we do think this will be like a pretty interesting source of revenue for the ecosystem long term. We'll probably add Project Neo into the staking dashboard once it starts generating some revenue. So you can even stake to that product in particular, and like, get some staking rewards from that product, ideally.
Wild P2E on Discord just posted that they already won 107 Pixel from the social dungeons. Oh my God. That's wild. I mean, if that doesn't encourage you to go participate, I don't know what does. Wild. All right, we have like 30 seconds left. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, my computer is at 7%. Actually, I've made it. I think 7% is pretty good. I thought I was going to die before the end of the AMA.
This is a good question on fundamentals. If you could go back, would you switch Pixels to Web 2?
Oh.
No. So what
No.
we're not trying to do is we're not trying to build a Web 2 gaming company, because why would we do that? What we're trying to do is we're trying to disrupt Web 2 gaming. We want to make experiences that would be hyper competitive against Web 2 games. So what we're trying to figure out is the best way to bring these Web 3 concepts to Web 2 players. But again, I don't like the Web 3, Web 2 players, like really just players. Like we want to bring these Web 3 concepts to normal people and grow the Web 3 gaming audience. So we wouldn't make Pixels Web 2. Like I think it sucks because you really wish that you could nail everything from the beginning, but honestly, to build something new and innovative, like you just have to experiment a lot, mess up a lot, make mistakes. There has not been perfect execution from Core Pixels from beginning to date on getting that objective of like building a sustainable game that reaches millions and millions of players and generates, 100 million in revenue a year. But like I think you kind of have to go down a path of like trying things out, experimenting and messing up a lot to get there. So we've learned so much, and I think I think with our experience now, we know what works inside of Web3. We know the things that resonate with audiences really well because we've tried so much. We know what not to do also. And now we're going to try to take these concepts to more people, basically. And that's kind of the next like 3 to 4 months of Pixels, starting to scale those efforts, see how we can do there. And, I think I'm pretty optimistic about our success. But, if we don't nail it in the right way, we still have plenty of time to go to experiment and like try some more experiments too. But yeah, the idea is basically we want to change gaming. And in order to do that, we have to come up with something new that no one in gaming is really doing successfully yet. Now, I think a lot of people see that this is kind of the future of gaming, but we truthfully, like we are probably the best position for it when it comes to like competing against EA or Scopely or like some of these big Web 2 companies, because they have not been doing the work here on experimenting with real money and like normal game loops. And we have. So this is our kind of chance to disrupt these big gaming players. That's the goal here, basically.
Okay.
Oh, this is a leak. Soon for this one.
Yeah, I think Cass already leaked that. Okay, I am usually happy to go over time, but my laptop is actually going to turn off on me. So let's call it here.
Thanks for this AMA today, guys. We're going to try to do a chapter 3 preview in this AMA next week.
Yeah.
So be ready for that. It's going to be a fun AMA.
Plan. We'll show you all. We'll spill all the tea next week. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Go play the social games. We'll see you there. Bye.